si mnajua nilipatiwa panga pale, nilipatiwa sword kubwa hivi. Kwani mnafikiri hiyo sword ni ya kukata mboga? Si ni ya kufyeka wakora hawa? Ndawafyeka kabisa.
Habari ya jioni mtazamaji wangu wa Kenya 54 News. Natumai upo mzima. Karibu tena hapa Kenya 54 News ili niendelee kukujuza habari ambazo zimetendeka siku ya leo hapa nchini Kenya kwenye ulingo wa kisiasa. Seneta wa Busia County Mheshimiwa Okiya Omtatah sasa anasema ya kwamba maisha yake yamo hatarini kwa sababu William Samuel Ruto alisema ya kwamba atakuwa anapambana na atahakikisha amewamaliza wale ambao wanaendelea kupinga serikali yake ama kupinga yale mambo ambayo serikali yake inataka kuyafanya. Na Okiya Omtatah amesema ya kwamba licha na kuwa ameomba usaidizi kwa maofisa wa usalama ikiwemo ma-OCPD, lakini wamempuuza na kusema ya kwamba jambo ambalo anajaribu kulifuatilia haliwezekani kwa sababu ni kinyume na sheria. Kwa hivyo Mheshimiwa Okiya Omtatah ama yule seneta wa ODM kutoka kule sehemu za Busia anasema ya kwamba William Samuel Ruto amemtishia maisha yake ya kwamba atammaliza ama atamuua. Kwa hivyo yeye anajaribu kutafuta usaidizi kwa maofisa wa usalama ambao na pia na wao ni kama wako tu ndani ya hii mpango wake William Samuel Ruto wa kummaliza Okiya Omtatah kwa sababu hawampatii usaidizi wowote. Na mtazamaji, nataka nikuwekee jinsi ambavyo Okiya Omtatah analalamika akisema maisha yake yamo hatarini kwa sababu William Samuel Ruto ako na nia ya kummaliza pamoja na wenzake ambao wanaendelea kupinga ile mipango ambayo serikali inataka kuifanya, kama vile ile Finance Act ambayo Okiya Omtatah alikuwa kipaumbele kuweza kuikataa, na hata aliweza kupeleka kesi kotini ili kusimamisha ile Finance Act. Na ni baadhi ya mambo ambayo pengine yamemkasirisha William Samuel Ruto, na sasa anataka kupambana na hao watu ambao wanaipinga serikali yake ama wanapinga ile mipango ambayo yeye William Samuel Ruto anataka kuifanya. Na Okiya Omtatah amesema ya kwamba hivi ndivyo watu huwa wanaanza kuuawa kwa vitisho kupitia yale maneno ambayo William Samuel Ruto aliyasema, halafu baadaye ama hatimaye watu wanakuja wanatoweka machoni pa watu na ripoti mwishowe zinasemekana ya kwamba huyo mtu aliweza kumalizwa na pengine kutupwa huko misituni. Kwa hivyo Okiya Omtatah anasema ya kwamba sasa yeye yumo hatarini na ajui ni nini kitaweza kuja kumtokea baada ya William Samuel Ruto kusema yale maneno ambayo kusema ya kwamba hakupewa kisu cha kukatakata mboga bali alipewa kisu hili awadili na wale watu ambao wanajaribu kuipinga serikali yake. Hebu mtazamaji msikize huyu seneta kutoka kule Busia County Mheshimiwa Okiya Omtatah vile ambavyo ako na wasiwasi kwa sababu hajui ni nini ambacho kinaweza kumtendekea wakati wowote.
On Sunday, I went to Langata police station, having seen what the president said in Mogosho in Kisii on the 16th Saturday, whereby he issued a death threat against me and other people who have gone to court and successfully challenged his basically nonsensical housing, so-called housing fund, housing levy fund, or housing levy tax, whatever it is. So he made remarks whereby he directly isolated the people who had taken that case to court, and said that he was given a sword, the ceremonial sword was given at Kasarani, and that he was going to use that sword not to chop vegetables. He was not given that sword for chopping vegetables, but for dealing with crooks like myself and others who had gone to the High Court and successfully challenged this housing, so-called housing levy fund or levy tax or whatever it is, or affordable housing levy. So those remarks had two issues that got me concerned. The first issue was that the president was threatening violence against that group, and the kind of violence that exterminates. He was threatening to kill people. by saying he's going to slash them. And another thing, the second thing is that he deliberately dehumanized the people who went to court by calling them crooks. And that particular thing irked me. And I can tell you that, for me, there's no ground upon which Ruto can stand and call me a crook. People who know the history of this country know that both of us have been taken to court. And him, he was accused of theft, stealing public assets. I was accused of holding demonstrations to demand good governance. So who should call the other one a crook? One who has been formally indicted for theft, or me who was indicted for fighting for good governance. But more than that, the whole purpose of what the president said, and if you look at everything where people are murdered and killed, the first step is to dehumanize them. Call them cockroaches, call them whatever. In this particular case, the president referred to me and my group as crooks, wakora, whom is going to slash. So already they have dehumanized us, and so eliminating us will not be eliminating human beings. He will be eliminating wakora. So concerned about my own life, that the president issued that death threat and already dehumanized me, and because I live under the jurisdiction of Langata police station, on Sunday I went to Langata police station, making an attempt to report this matter, to get an OB. I was kept there for more than 6 hours, being taken around. Eventually, one of the junior officers came and said, "My brother, the discussion I've picked is that they are not going to record your statement. And what I would advise you to do is to go to the crime scene where the crime was committed. That's in Kisii. Go to Kisii in Mosocho and make a report in Mosocho. I'm sure those policemen will not be able to refuse. Because here, when they refuse, they might even argue that the question of jurisdiction, although it happened on national TV for you, they might argue that the question of jurisdiction does not allow them to be the first point of complaint. So taking that advice, I tried to get a flight yesterday to Kisumu or to Homa Bay. All the flights were booked until after next week. I could not get a flight. So, but given the concern I have about my own safety and the safety of the other people whom the president referred to as crooks, whom he is going to slash, the people who had gone to court and gotten orders against his housing levy fund, which the court declared to be unconstitutional. I decided to drive to Kisii, and I drove overnight, go to Mosocho at around 4 o'clock this morning. I went to the police station. I found officers there who handled me very well. They even recorded my complaint in an OB, and the OB is here for those who can see. It's an OB number 03/19/12/2023. It's OB number 3 of today, recorded at Mosocho police station. So after I recorded the OB, they told me that given my current status in society as a senator, they could not record a statement from me at that police station. I needed to be recorded by the senior police officers. So they referred me, they called the OCPD, and they called the DCIO, and told me to come to this other police station. It's called Nyanchwa police station. So when I got to Nyanchwa police station, I was well received by the junior officers as we waited for the bosses to come. So first of all, the first person who came was the OCPD. He greeted me and asked me to get into his office. He's called Mr. Kazungu Charo, the OCPD. And he did something very strange. He began raising an issue with my phone. He just claimed that I was recording him. So I told him, I'm not recording you for heaven's sake. I'm not an idiot. I don't record people. So I said, okay, to make you comfortable, let me hand over my phone. So I handed over my phone to one of the people I had come with, my security detail, and they took it out. Then the second thing, he comes in and tells me, do you know that you cannot accuse the president of anything? I said, where do you get that? He says it's in the law. I asked him which section of the law. He didn't even know. So I told him, the only thing you can do is look at Article 143 and read it out, which he did. And Article 143 does not stop the president from being investigated and being recorded. It only stops his being prosecuted. He cannot be prosecuted in a court. But the president can be arrested, the president can be processed criminally by the police. They have that power. The president is not above the law. So after I showed him that, he sort of became angry and began shouting at me and saying, I'm not going to record your statement. You can go anywhere you want, but we are not recording your statement. And so stop wasting your time here. Well, at that point, I saw that there was no point dealing with somebody who thinks he can operate outside the law. So I decided to say, okay, I will pack and go. And I intend to go to IPOA. I intend to go to the police headquarters. As for Mr. Kazungu, I'm going to sue him here in Kisii for denying me public services for which I pay. He earns a salary. He's supposed to serve all Kenyans. He was not supposed to argue with me, beginning to say that I'm bringing lies, that he was at the rally, he didn't hear the president say that. And that is how you create dictators. When you begin protecting and covering up for for violations of the law, and you are a law enforcer, you embolden the lawbreaker to do worse things than that. So from here, I'm going back to Nairobi, to the police headquarters. I'll try to get Mr. Kome to record my statement, the Inspector General. And I also want to involve IPOA against Mr. Kazungu, as I also prosecute him for violating my right to be served by the state. So those are the few remarks I have. But I am taking what the president said seriously. I'm not going to blink, but also I'm not going to withdraw from the court. We are going to use the court because the court is a legitimate forum for settling disputes. And the president, he talks of his being not unstoppable. My advice to him is that he's only unstoppable if he's operating within the law. The moment he steps outside the law, he's stopped by the constitution.
Na mtazamaji, kama vile umeweza kusikia, huyo ni seneta wa Busia County ambaye anasema kwamba maisha yake yamo hatarini baada ya William Samoei Ruto kutangaza hadharani ya kwamba atakuwa akipambana na watu ambao wanaipinga serikali yake. Na Okiya Omtatah ni mmoja ya watu ambao wamekuwa wakitetea haki za Wakenya, kama vile ambavyo Omtatah aliweza kupinga ile housing levy na hatimaye akaweza kushinda pale kotini na mahakama kutangaza ya kwamba sasa Wakenya hawatakuwa wanakatwa ile 1.5%, na ni jambo ambalo lilimkasirisha sana William Samoei Ruto, na ndio manake amechukua hii hatua ya kumuinda Okiya Omtatah pamoja na wengine ambao wanaenda kinyume na serikali yake. Na Okiya Omtatah licha na kuwa amejaribu kutafuta usaidizi kutoka kwa maofisa wa usalama, lakini juhudi zake zimeambulia patupu na sasa hajui afanye nini wala atende lini. Kwa hivyo mtazamaji mwenzangu, na kuomba tu tuweze kumuombea huyu Okiya Omtatah mahali popote hasiweze kupatwa na janga lolote ama aweze kuangamizwa, kama vile ambavyo William Samoei Ruto amesema kwamba kile kisu ambacho alikipewa hakikuwa cha kukatakata mboga, bali ni cha kukatakata ama kudeal na watu ambao wanamsumbua ndani ya uongozi wake. Na mtazamaji, kama ndio mara yako ya kwanza kujiunga nami, na kuomba uweze kusubscribe hapa Kenya 54 News ili wa kwanza kuzipata hizi habari punde tu zinapotendeka, na pia uweze kulike, kushare na kucomment, ndiposa huu ujumbe uweze kuwa recommended kwa watu wengi, mtazamaji wangu.